Did you know you can get an additional 50 Aether cap or stamina cap added to your account by filling in your research notes? My friends, we're going to talk about the research facility today and what you should be focusing down in this path, in this tree down here, when using your limited research notes. So welcome back. Let's just dive right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is how you're going to get these notes. It's pretty straightforward. It's by filling in these policies here. So as you go through, you're going to have an opportunity to get policy points. Now they're going to vary depending on which missions you have here. We've talked about these before. Pick the ones that make the most sense to hit these little thresholds for your grades. And then when you get these policy points, you're going to take these over to Nono's shop. And we want to talk a little bit about what's important in here, and then we're going to talk about the tree. So first of all, in the shop, you'll see here that I have completed for the week, it's getting close to weekly reset, the 35 potential research notes that I can get from these policies. So this is something you are definitely going to want to focus down every single week. So that way you're getting your max benefit from the tree. Don't sleep on these. Then I've filled in all of my special policy reports because again, these are weekly limits. And I'm going to end up getting more research notes by doing them, getting special missions to unlock. So these are very valuable. And when you complete these policies, you're getting affinity points, which we all know is not the easiest thing to farm out. So this is basically like buying affinity points and giving yourself a chance to get more stages to go get other rewards. Then something that is super important in the shop is going to be this multi-dimensional alignment material. Now, thankfully, you have the whole month to go for this, but you can only get 2 of these right now per month. And this is how you can go in and pick your own equipment's main stat. So basically there's a crafting system we'll talk about in a different video, but you can craft a legendary item and pick its main stat. So it can help you target farm for a specific item, but there's only 2 of these per month. So it is something to focus down. That out of the way, the whole point here is once you get these weekly research notes done, what are you going to spend on? What is your focus? And so I want to talk about the most important nodes. First of all, I think this middle path is one of, if not the most important path to go down first. First of all, you get an increase of maximum policies to 8. So then you're able to, cascade and generate more of these policies, get more of these, research notes, etc. So this is just giving you a better shot at getting this done quicker. Second node, you're getting some additional affinity. So this is really important because again, affinity is hard to farm out. Then on this node, decrease new policy creation time to 300 minutes. So again, you're getting these policies faster. The more you regenerate these, the faster you get your affinity, the faster you get your research notes, the faster you farm out, you see the theme. These decreased tourism index losses are fine. It's going to help you get the higher ranking for your disasters each, particular cycle, or however many days it takes you to go through it. But really what I'm trying to push for down here is to eventually get down to the special grade policy occurrence chance by 10%. So this will go up to 50% when you max this out. This is going to give you better policies, which again is just going to compound and help you get more things faster. So you want to get your best policy return as soon as you possibly can, in my opinion. And then if you want, you can go the one step further and get even more affinity points, another 5 points if you fill this out. And then everything after that, again, is just the reducing disaster as it occurs. So it makes it easier to get the higher rankings. I think once you get past this node here, and if you want the extra affinity, this node, you can kind of hold off on the rest of this track. That way you can focus on another incredibly important track. And this is the top one. So on the top track, first of all, you do get proto skills. These are things that you use in battle, and they allow you to like unwind turns, undo your last move. There's a limit on how many you can do. But those aren't the most important things. We do go through and get some more affinity. So again, affinity is always going to be great. And you can see that these are all affinity type skills up here. I do want to eventually come back and get these done so I can do affinity faster. But there's a couple that are super important. So this one here, increase the amount of ether that can be stored by 5. There's 5 of these nodes. Do the math, 25. And there's a second one of these nodes further out. Let's see if I can figure out exactly where it is. Here it is. So down in this higher range here, for another 5 by 5, 25. So you've got 50 total Aether, and that is your energy cap. That is your stamina cap that you can increase, per day. So it's just a max cap increase. So this is going to be a super important couple of nodes to jump into. And again, I think after you've got your production going, your economy going in your research notes, this is what you should be focusing down. Now, another really key one in here is you can increase your max communication passes by 1 on this node. It's a 1 node, so you can't, keep going with this. But that means that instead of 3 potential trauma fixes or 3 affinity conversations for your excursions, you at least get 1 more. I mean, it's not mountains worth, but I'll take the extra one because I have days where I have a lot of trauma in this game and I want to, get my save data. And then this node here, this one's an interesting one. Increase the number of purchase limit at Nono shop by 1. There's 5 of these, so we can assume that you get 5 total purchase limits. Here's what I don't know about this, and I'm going to try to unlock it hopefully this week. If not, it'll be next week. And in Nono shop, you're going to see that everything has a limit except for this one here. And I don't know if that is going to allow the multidimensional alignment to go up. I don't think it will. This is such a premium item, premium currency, whatever you want to call it. And it also takes a lot of these notes up here to even get one of them, that my assumption is that it's not going to let you get more of these. But what I'm hoping for is that it's giving you more of the research notes, because the research notes going up to 40, that's just going to give you a couple more nodes that you can unlock, every single week. So hopefully it gives you that. And otherwise, I'd like to see it hopefully give the research notes. I don't know anybody that's gotten that node yet. I'll have it soon. I'll make an update, in a post or something once I do. But even having more of these when you have the extra materials, that's going to be great for just giving yourself more policies. Again, giving yourself more return, giving yourself more things that you need to fill out that tree faster. So overall, I think those are the best. If it's the, weekly limits on the different items for gifts, I think these are potentially less valuable unless you're just overflowing. And maybe we get to that point eventually. But right now, just saving up the 1,000 for this plus getting these every week is going to crush, most of your economy anyways. I've not really bought any of this yet. I think I maybe bought one to get myself over a hump at one point in time. So that's what that is for the shop. And again, I think that it's a question whether or not it will give you more of the multidimensional anchors. I don't think that it will. And then the rest of these are, they're good. So you've got things like unlocking more dice rolls, more affinity, but I think that it's less valuable than the first nodes. And so I'm going to focus getting all the way up to this node faster. And I'll just pick things that probably give me more affinity on the way just to fill out the tree, because I think affinity is important. And then again, after that, it's more affinity, and then you get an extra sands of time, which is for your proto skills. So those are the most important nodes in my opinion. So recapping it, get through this middle track here. That is going to give you the most production value to fill out this tree faster and to get more rewards to use in Nono shop for the valuable items. And I would take this probably as far as the special grade policies. And if you want the affinity, but you can probably wait on the affinity until you fill out the top tree more. And the top tree, I think you need to push all the way out to the second Aether node, wherever that thing ended up being over here. Because by the time you fill this out plus the first node, you've got yourself 50 extra stamina per day. And we know how valuable stamina is. Bottom track, I'm saving for the end. Bottom track is basically just going to unlock more places to have more excursions and more people show up for excursions. But honestly, I'm not using that many excursions a day that I can always find somebody I want to talk to anyway. So I don't think this is as important in the early game. Obviously fill it out later. There you have it, my friends. Hopefully that is valuable. Hopefully it gives you some direction on the shop. And like I said, once I get the Nono increase shop items thing unlocked, I'll go and make a community post or a Twitter post and tell you exactly what that does. But until our next video or live stream, please like and sub the video and take care of yourselves.